All right, guys, we're here to talk about silver, and I'm just going to talk about the situation of silver and what's going on because I'm seeing it all over the news, and I'm starting to hear from everybody about the price of silver, and I'm getting like daily text messages about, oh, silver's at this price, silver's at that price. What's going on? Are you rich now? Like, what's going on with silver? So I've been a silver dealer for 15 years. I deal in a lot of like scrap sterling, scrap gold, and I've been through a couple of different market cycles. When I started dealing in silver, that was probably when silver was about $20 an ounce, and it ran up to 50. Was that first run is about when I first started dealing in silver, doing like garage sales and estate sales and that type of thing. And I remember a lot of the situation that happened back then, and it looks a lot like what's happening now in the silver markets, except for I wasn't as active in the like actual dealings with refiners and things like that like I am now. So it's a little bit different of a situation from back then because now I'm a lot more involved in it. I have a lot more actual money involved in it. So what do I think about the price? I mean, if you want to know my opinion, I think the price is gone into bubble territory. It is at a point where it no longer makes sense in terms of what we're seeing on the sterling market, which again is more of what I'm involved in, is in the sterling market. I don't deal as a local coin shop. I don't deal as like a bullion dealer. I deal primarily in buying scrap sterling and gold from online sources and private deals, just people who know that I buy and sell. So at let's see what silver's trading at this moment is, let's see, 79.23 is what I'm showing on my silver calculator. It just doesn't make sense in terms of what we see in the physical market on sterling. So things like that I deal in, flatware sets, bowls, jewelry, right? Like rings and bracelets and things like that. You start to see a disconnect between the value that you see in your hand versus the value that they're saying it's worth on the markets. So when I take like a silver bangle like this or whatever, which is like a nice, designer or whatever silver bangle, but when we weigh it up, right? And this is where for me as a dealer, this starts to make not make any sense. Okay, so we're at 90 grams on this little silver bangle, right? So the scrap value on that, let's see what our scrap calculator is saying, is $212 for a little silver bangle. This is just for a bracelet, $212 in scrap, right? So if I were to take this and try and sell it to somebody and say, hey, I need, let's say, I want to try and get over scrap for this, and I'm gonna be like, hey, I need 250, $275 for this. I'm just not going to find a buyer. It doesn't make sense when people grew up buying silver bangles for $20, right? Like it just doesn't make sense for this to be $200 in melt value. Even if you look at anything else, I have. Let's grab a. I'll grab one here. Here is a like a sterling silver teapot, right? This is like 1,000 grams, right? This is like a 1 kilo sterling silver. It's got the marks on there. What is this? This is a Reed and Barton sterling little teapot. So, something like this, maybe 3 months ago, I could buy for $600, $700, right? The current melt value on paper, what is showing for this piece right now, 3 months ago, I could buy this 600, $700, like on a good deal, right? Is now showing $2,356. I mean, for just the one teapot, like we're not talking a whole silverware set. we're talking just one piece of the silverware set. Granted, this is a heavy piece. That's a heavy piece of silver, but I'm not kidding you. 6 months ago, I was buying flatware sets like for $700, $800. I was passing on $1,000 flatware sets, right? Like it doesn't make any sense how quickly silver has risen. And I'm trying to sell. Like this, I'm trying to sell. If you want to give me $2,350 for this, I'll sell it to you right now, right? The problem is you can't sell. You can't sell. The refineries right now, of course it's the holidays, so they're like basically just being like, we're closed, don't bother us because they are not paying these prices. So that's the other indicator that we're just in a bubble, is like when people who deal in silver won't buy your silver. That's where you start to see that, okay, this has just hit bubble territory. This makes no sense. The flatware doesn't make sense. The silver rounds don't make sense. Like a silver American Eagle being like over $100 or something like that with the premium, right? Because typically a silver coin's going to run some premium on top, $10, $20 at a coin shop. They got to make money, right? So paying like $100 for a silver ounce when there are people with vaults of silver ounces. I mean, these guys have bags and bags and bags and bags and bags and bags full of coin, full of rounds, full of bars, like whatever. I'm telling you, the supply is there. People are rushing to sell, and the refineries are kind of like creating a chokehold on it because for one, they can't really take it all in because they don't want to hold it, right? They don't want to hold the risk of this run up, because you can see it in the news. This is like a 4 standard deviation move in silver or whatever that they're saying right now. The move in silver has just no correlation to anything. The physical markets aren't paying it. I don't even know what it's like for anyone who has like a silver ETF right now. Or if you guys sell, are you getting good pricing on the ETFs? Because I imagine that the only buyers out there are ETFs with contracts in place, right? That have a prospectus on their silver, right? That I think that's got to be the only buyers. I mean, I don't see anyone else buying it. Like maybe the U.S. Mint is taking in some silver to mint their coins, right? That they kind of have to mint. But who else is buying the silver at $80 an ounce? It makes no sense, because I promise you, the supply is flooding in, right? Like the sterling is flooding in, and they're refining it at full capacity. So we know supply will come in. Supply and demand tells us if there's no demand and there's tons of supply coming in, the price should fall, right? So it makes no sense that there's this big disconnect between the physical markets and the spot price that is showing on Kitco right now. I wonder, let's take a look. Is Kitco, I wonder if they even have a buy price listed on their website at all. Let's see if what they say. So let's just read a couple of the headlines. 57% of retail investors expect silver to trade above $100 an ounce in 2026. Maybe it hits there just from the short squeeze or whatever that's going on. But if it hits like $100 an ounce, if you're not selling at $100 an ounce silver, I think you're crazy. Like if you think it's just going to run to the moon, I think you're just delirious. Let's see, what else do we got? AI led growth story, maybe not enough for US dollars. Gold, silver, power to record highs on safe haven demand. Yeah, I wonder what safe haven demand are they looking for? Markets are still near all-time highs. Like let's see. Well, maybe I'm out of tune with some of this stuff. Bitcoin at 87,400 right now, which is, in my opinion, still a healthy price for Bitcoin. $1.75 trillion market cap. Let's see. Are they buying? That's what I want to know. It's like, watch, they just removed their okay, buy and sell. So I want to sell. Let's see, refining and scrap. I wonder if they say anything for silver. Oh, they do. Look. Okay, so Kitco, sterling silver, or sterling silver price sheet right now on their buy is showing $1.46 a gram. I mean, if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, then that's what you're looking at on a Kitco. You know, if you want to sell Kitco your silver, there's your sterling. They're paying $1.46 when sterling is currently valued on paper at $2.35 a gram. And let's see, what are they paying on pure? So even on pure, because people are saying, well, you know, maybe it's just a problem with the sterling market. On pure silver, they're paying $1.62 a gram. They're paying way, 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 way under. So I have a settlement document from Elemental, one of the largest refiners in the U.S., that I had executed on December 24th, and they didn't pay me in full for all the silver I sent in. I sent in 7,000 grams of silver. It was a mix between flatware and jewelry with stones and maybe a couple of weighted pieces or whatever that are going to need additional work, which is normal, right? But we're going on probably a week and a half since they took delivery of that. And I still haven't been paid for any of it, which it says that they settled on about $5,000 worth of it, but they executed me on that 5,000, which they can execute on receipt, right? So they are obviously going to take that on receipt price. Granted, I didn't lock prices in because I knew silver was running like crazy, and what I tried to do was get ahead of this crazy run in silver, send in my sterling, right? And don't lock the price and see if I could hit, you know, some of that upside and they would cash me out. Well, what did the refiners or any buyer, any local coin shop do? They are paying -$7 of spot, right? So whatever spot price is, just -7 off of that, right? And then they're going to execute off of their own website's pricing. And so they can just switch, like if they're just like, oh, you know, we're going to go to, you know, December or January contract pricing and not go off of spot. They can now just be like, okay, now we're paying off of January futures contracts price, and we're going to take 7 off, and we're going to pay, which they've been doing for the past month or so since silver was halted 2 months ago, right? Silver was completely halted. You cannot send in any sterling to any refinery in the United States. They reopened, right? Which Elemental was saying we reopened early or whatever. We're such a great company. We're actually going to take your silver early, but we're going to pay -5% of our normal payout, right? So what does all that mean? That means they are like, this is what I'm trying to explain to people who are super interested in the silver market and what's going on with the silver market right now is a refinery, right? This is like I wish I had like a flow chart for you guys or something, but there's like, okay, all of your retail people, right? And then that flows to, you know, basically aggregators, which is what I do. I'm like a middle market aggregator of sterling, and I send in bigger bundles to a refiner, right? And a refinery or whatever, they call themselves refineries, but a lot of them don't actually even refine their own stuff. The big ones do, right? Asahi, and Asahi, for instance, will only take about $200,000 worth of silver at a time. If you want to do a melt, you actually have to pay for the entire melt. So you got to pay for the gas in the furnace, you got to pay for the worker, like you got to actually pay for the melt, and they take a minimum of like $200,000 worth of silver before they'll even do a melt for you. So there's like this funnel where the silver kind of gets aggregated. So you got the people like me who buy from the public, you know, coin shops, pawn shops, whatever. Then we send it to these kind of they're refineries, but they're really like trading points where they will lock pure silver against your sterling, and then they'll melt your sterling into a bar, and then they send your sterling off to get refined at a real refinery like Asahi or you know, the smart companies, they actually send it to India because if you go look at the melting prices in India, it's actually way cheaper to melt gold and silver in India because the labor costs are lower. They're just their operations are a lot more efficient. They don't have as much like EPA regulations and all that sort of thing. So a lot of companies actually do refine their materials in India, and then they'll have it shipped from India, usually to Europe or to New York or wherever it needs to go. I've actually looked into this for even just my silver, sending it off to have it melted for cheaper because like a melt here in the US, if you try and get your silver melted, it's going to cost you, like they'll charge you like 2% maybe, right? Like you're going to get charged, either they charge it up front or they charge it in the percent. It's usually like 1%, or they'll charge $50 per whatever, like 2,500 grams, 3,000 grams. They'll charge you $50 for each, batch. They all structure it differently. A lot of them will just bake it into the percentage. So they'll just be like, okay, instead of paying you 98% and then taking a bunch of fees off, they'll be like, okay, we'll just pay you 95%, right? So Elemental, they would normally pay 90%, which sounds bad, and it really is not that great. 90% on your sterling value is it's not great. But why do I use them? A couple of different things with why I would use them versus a different refinery, because I did switch refineries. Is first of all, they don't charge any fees, right? So that they bake it all into their percentage. So it makes it a lot easier for me to calculate, to just not have to calculate the fees and not be like, okay, I hit, 2501 grams and now they're charging me an extra $50, which lowers my percentage. I don't have to worry about like, okay, if it has, weighted handles, they're going to charge me $8 a handle or whatever it is. Like these shops all have different ways of kind of skimming, that percentage off of you. They don't do that. They just do 90%. The other part is they will send you shipping supplies, and they self-insure and self-label their shipments. So normally if you are going to insure through the USPS, certified mail, it may cost you $100 to $150 to ship your goods in, which also cuts down your percentage a little bit, right? So you can either pay that shipping cost and pay for the melt and pay for all these other fees, or you can just go with them and be like, okay, 90% all in, that's what we're paying you. Run all your calculations, run your buy costs off of that, right? The other part is they pay quick. So they pay by ACH, which a lot of places will just pay by check still, or they just won't pay that quickly. Usually this company will pay by ACH. It'll be in your account in usually like the next day. They're usually very quick about it. Of course, right now, holiday times, I don't know. I haven't been paid yet, right? So same thing as the last time. I had silver being refined the day they announced a moratorium on all of silver. So I'm like in this kind of same boat again, where silver is skyrocketing. You would think, oh, I'm getting rich off of this or something. Silver's at $79 an ounce. But what price did I actually net? I actually netted on my last settlement like $58 an ounce. It's not even close. It's almost, I'm getting knocked for almost 18% or something like that off of spot price, is what refiners are actually paying out to their customers right now. And so when I see all this hype over the price, I'm like, yeah, where can we send this stuff in? Like sign me up for $79 an ounce. Go into your local coin shop and see what they'll pay. Because I know that you're just not getting these kind of prices unless that shop has a lot of demand for silver and they're selling at a premium. There's no way that they're taking in your silver because it's at anywhere near spot prices. Why should you sell? Why should you sell? Because I already explained that, but the supply is going to come in. The supply of silver is going to come in. Everybody and their mother is melting everything. Like if there is any dealer, if there's anyone who has a reserve, there's any bank, if there's any exchange, if there's anybody, we're all cleaning out our safes. Like I'm going through I'm picking through the bins. Like, hey, what do I got that I can melt? Is there like a little, little silver ring or whatever? Because now a little silver ring, instead of being worth $2 6 months ago, is now worth like $15 now. It makes no sense, because you look at little like whatever jewelry pieces, right? Like this little silver seahorse or whatever. I can't sell this to a customer for what it's melting for right now. There's absolutely no point in me trying to retail this thing, because what are you going to do for this little silver thing? This thing is let's see, 4.2 grams, right? I couldn't even get $10 for this. It's $9.89 a melt for this little thing. So I gotta go try and sell this to somebody for like 15 bucks. It's gonna sit in your case forever. You hold it. You hold it for what? For what? If you've been holding it, right, you've already made almost 300%, 250, 300%. What am I gonna hold it for? I need to get that capital out and turn it, because I promise you, I will be able to buy silver cheaper than what it is today. There's no doubt. The last time this happened, silver went to $50. Everyone said it was going to 100, and it plummeted back down to $13 an ounce. I bought a lot of silver back at $13 an ounce. Now I'm digging through everything I have to sell all of it. I'm trying to sell every little piece I could find. You don't know anyone who wants to get rid of their silver. I'll give you $7 for the seahorse. Yeah, 70% of the current melt. I'd rather melt it. Right? Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be the opinion that people think that they should hold, but I've just been a dealer since I was a little kid. I've been dealing in silver since I was little. I know what the markets look like. Anybody who has antique shops, anybody who has coin stores with loads and loads of silver have just hit the jackpot, and they are all melting. Like it doesn't make any sense. There are some silverware sets, like I just said, with this big silver teapot, right? If you have the whole set of this with the tray, right? You've got like the tray and the 5-piece set with all the little pieces and whatever, and you've got a big heavy tray. You could be talking like, I don't know, $12,000 in silver. You're never finding a customer for that stuff who's going to pay $12,000. So you're gonna hold it for the melt value to go up, I guess. Male seahorse to a fake street. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm just letting you guys know my thoughts, my opinions as a silver dealer. I've been dealing for a long time. When a little silver ring starts having $20-$25 in melt value, I mean, if you're not going to garage sales right now, you should be going to garage sales, because if you can find little silver, I mean, I remember, because I was a little kid when I did this, right? When I was going to garage sales. I'm even thinking about it right now of just going to antique stores. This is what I used to do back in the day. I don't know if I have it. Did I bring that silver stuff down? I don't remember if I brought it, but I've got like, like the hair brushes and the mirrors and stuff. I have some of it upstairs. I've got a little bag of silver here. Whatever. This type of stuff, right? This is what I'm dealing in all the time. This type of silver, right? This is like crazy money now. Like, why? I used to be able to get this much silver in like a day, right? Like, I mean, this used to be nothing, and now all of a sudden it's super valuable. There were huge flower sets for cheap, not that long ago. I don't think it makes any sense to be. I mean, I'll tell you, I've already melted Tiffany. I'm melting everything I can find. And that's $600 tops. Yeah, that's probably what. How much is in this bag? Who wants to guess? You guys want to guess? You can guess how much this is worth. I can grab a scale. I'll get a scale. You can play that game right now with silver being crazy. Silver's in a deficit and fiat money's losing value. Okay. About that, I completely agree that you should have assets, right? I completely agree with that. Don't you don't want to be holding any cash, right? I 100% agree with the argument for silver being good, right? I'm a silver dealer. My whole life I've been dealing in silver. I agree. I think there just are going to be better value. There's going to be better value and better opportunity for those funds than the current price of silver. I'm not saying I'm going to sell my silver and hold cash, right? There's no way. I don't want any cash. I completely agree. Like you shouldn't hold any cash, right? You should only hold emergency funds in cash. Everything else should be in assets. I just think there's going to be better opportunities, other assets. I would consider like gold at 4,500 to be a much better value right now than silver at 80. Because gold I can see holding, right? Like you're not facing as much of a crash risk where silver could crash in half, right? The odds of gold crashing in half is a completely different story. I think you're a lot safer in gold. Um, Look what happened to rhodium. God, I was trying. You know what I was trying to buy? I was trying to buy palladium. I wish I would have bought some palladium. What's palladium trading at right now? Let's see. I haven't checked in a while. Let's see. What's palladium price? Yeah, see, palladium. Palladium's back to what? Almost $2,000 an ounce. That's crazy. I should have bought some palladium. I mean, how I haven't checked on this in a while. Yeah, see, palladium was trading at like $800 at one point, not that long ago, right? Last year or early this year, it was trading at $900, and I was going to buy some palladium, but the premium on palladium coins, so like the Russian ballerina coins, it like palladium was trading at 800, but if you wanted a ballerina, it would cost you like 1,200. I couldn't justify the premium even on bars, like even on generic bars or generic rounds of palladium, they wanted like 150, $200 premiums on those coins. I just couldn't do it. Rhodium went from 8K to 29K. Well, that's crazy. I guess you're not going to see too much white gold anytime soon because white gold takes up a decent amount of rhodium, right, to make. So be interesting to see what happens to like the white gold market if like white gold starts becoming like more scarce or like more valuable or something. Um, let's see. Did anybody guess the weight of the silver? Let's see. Let me grab a scale. Let's see what I got here. Oh, I got the Accutech over here. Okay. Okay, we got our little scale. The scale, I've had this scale for like almost 10 years, 20, maybe 12 years, something like that. All right, who wants to guess the price? You can guess the weight or guess the price, whatever you want. This is like half a zip, we call it. This is half a zip in the silver world. We got half a zip of silver. What are we rocking here? And I'm sending this in, right? I'm sending this in on like Monday. All right, let's see, 1,200 grams. It's pretty close, pretty good, pretty close. Put it all in Beanie Babies. It may seem crazy. Yeah, I got all my money in Lego and Pokemon. If anyone wants to know where I'm putting my money, Pokemon and Legos. There you go. So we're at 1,580 grams. 1,580 grams on that right there. So what is 1,580 grams running right now? $3,722 for that much silver. And I'm telling you, like I used to not be able to ship my silver because it wouldn't fit in the box because I had so much of it. Like it's really, really crazy to see what silver has gone to now. I just don't think it makes any sense. It's never enough. Yeah. It's never enough. But I don't know. I just see opportunity other places like I said, I think gold, I think real estate is something that I'm pretty interested in as far as like watching interest rates come down, right? That's the interesting environment right now is like everybody's kind of calling for a market collapse, and yet federal interest rates are going down, and we expect interest rates to go down further over the next whatever 12 months, and that in theory should stimulate the economy. So I'm really interested to see, but what we're seeing is the scary part is prices of everything are going way up. The prices of healthcare, the prices of insurance, the prices of like whatever. But then we've got like gas kind of going down, oil, we'll see. What's the price of a barrel of oil right now too? Um, let's see. What's crude trading at right now? Let's see. Crude oil, $56 a barrel on WTI. Brent is at 60. So even like that's what I'm saying is like oil prices are way down, interest rates are going down. Like, you know, I don't know. I just see the opportunity to be able to take money out of these safe haven assets and start buying up some of these cheaper assets. I mean, that's kind of what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to sell high and buy low. Um, 1 ounce of silver is worth more than a barrel of crude oil right now. That's a shocker right there. I mean, there's your nice headline. I don't see the value. I'm trading in my silver and buying the oil. I mean, I think I would rather buy oil stocks. Maybe maybe the play if you want is like sell some physical silver and buy like mining stocks, right? Because like now the same thing that happened the last time the metals prices all went up is now you see a big rise in the miners because now a whole bunch of mining operations that weren't viable all of a sudden become viable and they start firing up the engine and again like what I'm saying is that's going to bring supply back into the market. I don't think there's a big shortage of supply on the precious metals market. I think there's, maybe on rhodium, right? Like I could understand a metal like rhodium, a lot harder to get, a lot more difficult to mine, lots smaller amounts in like the ore that you take out of the ground, right? Very, very small trace amounts in the ore. If you see, let's see, you'll understand the jump. So it's like we say it for centuries. Having an industrial use, that's why it's to the moon. Okay, the industrial use thing, like I mean, I've been hearing that since I was a little kid. The industrial use of silver. Oh, the cell phones, right? Are gonna take up all the silver. No, there's way way too much silver for the industrial demand. Uh, for circuit breakers and contacts and whatever. They don't even most of the time they're not even using silver for those. There's a lot of very conductive metals that are a lot cheaper, right? I don't really see the industrial argument for silver. Like sure, but the other part of it is like, do I believe that the run in silver is justified? Like absolutely, right? The metals markets never ran during COVID, they never ran, right? Like they stayed flat during all the hype during the COVID crash. Nobody fled to gold and silver. The prices never ran, right? Like the housing prices went up, the price of all the groceries went up, everything went up, and precious metals stayed the same for I mean the past like 4 years or something. Precious metals didn't run, so now they're seeing a short squeeze, which is good, right? I mean, I'm like I said, I'm not complaining. I'm a precious metals dealer, right? I'm making more money from like what I buy now when prices are higher. I make more money when prices are higher, right? It's what I deal in. So I deal in the same percentage, right? I'm always going to deal at whatever 5 to 10% margin on silver and gold. So the higher the price moves up, the more dollars I make on that same percentage, right? I have to put up more capital to do that, but I can still make money. In fact, I'm buying at way under. So just like the refineries are paying almost 18% back, I'm paying further back than I normally would, right? Because I have to manage my risk when I'm buying. I buy around like $50,000 worth of precious metals a month, right? Something like that. I'm a small time dealer, but I even at that level, I have to protect my risk because I could lose my shirt on some of these deals, right? Like I could lose significant amounts of money if the price collapses. So I have to factor in the part where I have to pay under what the refineries are paying, right? So if the refineries are paying me net 82%, right? I'm scared to buy at 70%. I'll be real. I'm barely buying at 70%. I'll only buy at 70% if it's like probably a smaller deal and it's got no, no stones, it's just like flatware or something. Maybe I'll buy at 70% to get like a big deal going, or if it's like 950 silver or, higher purity silver, or it's got some nice pieces in it, maybe then I'm paying 70%, but really I'm looking to stay at like 65%, 60%, right? Which you would think, oh, well, then I'm going to make 22% on that deal. Well, hopefully I do make 20% on silver or something like that when I'm buying it. I hope I do. But the problem is these refineries are starting to do the dance, right? They're giving you really bad price execution. They keep dropping how much back of spot they're paying. They're delaying payouts. They're paying half payments. Like they're starting to slow up. I'm starting to see cracks in what I'm sending in. And not to mention, I've got a good amount of gold too, right? So I'm holding a lot of gold as well, and I'm looking to sell. I'm looking to sell all of it because I want to get my cash back out as quickly as possible, so I can start buying the deals of people who don't know what's going on or who bought silver a long time ago and are looking for a quick cash out. Right, that's where I'm at as a dealer. Is I'm trying to like get my cash turning quick, right? This is where I'm trying to make a bunch of money, but I'm running a bunch of risk at the same time. So it's a scary market. And let's see. Do you ever buy a silver belt like from the Navajo? I buy all kinds of Native American jewelry. I've been buying Native American jewelry since I was a little kid. Let's see. When retail piles in like this and I sell and switch from, yeah. I mean, I 100% think this is the pigs going in, right? This is the pigs get slaughtered situation. I think so. I could be wrong. I talked about this. Okay, so I made a video a couple of videos ago about when silver went on a moratorium and what I did, right? So I bought puts. I bought put contracts to protect my incoming silver. So what happened with that is my puts, of course, they did go positive for a little bit, but they ended up selling uh, with a loss because the price of silver kept going up. But I had incoming silver, so I was able to, as soon as the silver companies opened back up, even with that 5% holdback that they're doing, I was still able to sell and still make a profit, a smaller profit than I expected on those, but I was protected, right? Now, the situation now, do I want to buy puts against SLV right now? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I want to buy puts against SLV. I think I'm more interested since the refineries, given the current situation, right? Given the current situation, the refineries are still open. They haven't issued any statements that they're not buying, which I do expect to happen. But right now, they're still buying. So my goal is to just sell, right? To just I'm like trying to send shipments in. Like as soon as I get a lot of stuff in, I'm sending it right into the refineries to sell. I'm trying to get out of silver. Like I'm like holding like a piece of fire right now with holding silver. In my opinion, right? I mean, people can think that it's going to the moon, whatever, whatever. I'm in the silver market, right? Like I hope it does. It's good for me if it does, but I'm not holding any of it. I want to be out of it as much as possible. We're consuming more silver than what's mined yearly now. I think that has a major role. Using more. Okay, so we can look that up. Are we using more silver than what is mined? That's what I want to know. Let's see what like ChatGPT says. Yes, for many years, global demand for silver has consistently exceeded the supply from mining and recycling, leading to a significant and growing structural deficit, primarily driven by surging industrial use in electronics, solar, EVs, and estimates showing deficits of 100 to 200 million ounces annually, while mining output is constrained as much silver is a byproduct and recycling struggles with Dispersed industrial uses, demand continues to outpace new supply, consuming existing above ground stocks. So there you go. ChatGPT agrees with you and says that the industrial boom, silver is critical for its high electrical conductivity in solar panels, right? Electric vehicles, AI data centers. That could be the thing, right? The AI data centers, maybe. Electronics with demand. But I'm telling you, I've been hearing that same story for a long, long time. Around 70 to 80% of silver comes from as a byproduct of copper, zinc, lead, and gold mining, meaning higher silver prices don't always trigger more silver production. So that's interesting. I've been hearing that for a long, long time. They've always said that silver. What I see on the streets is a lot of people selling massive amounts of silver. You can see it on pretty much any YouTube channel right now. If you go across any pawn shop channel or even the big watch dealer channels, right? I watch a lot of those watch dealers, Moses the jeweler, and all that. They're melting AP watches, right? They're melting Rolexes. They'll melt Cartier watches. They'll melt whatever because they know that the price is so high that people won't pay it for the items, right? No one's paying for that designer value when silver is $80 and gold's 4,500, right? JP Morgan and HSBS, I've agreed on the price, and they will rewrite the rules, what will legally allow them to suppress the price like they've done many times before. Been hearing a lot about data centers for how long? No, I mean the data centers, like I said, is a newer development, which I could see some of that, but I just don't know how big that whole data center market is today. I could see the future potential of a lot of data centers going up. I know like there are certain cloud services and Bitcoin services that are switching to AI services. So that could lead to silver demand, but I don't know like how much how much silver is in a data center. Like that's what I want to know. Like let's see. I wonder if ChatGPT has an answer for this. How much silver does it take to make a data center or something like that? Let's see. It takes a significant amount of silver, primarily for solar panels powering AI-focused data centers, with estimates suggesting about 300 metric tons of silver for a 500 megawatt solar array that could power one hyperscale facility, contributing heavily to rising industrial silver demand alongside copper and electronics. The overall build involves massive costs ranging from millions to billions, focused on electrical systems, HVAC, land, fit out, but the silver demand is a newer major factor due to AI growth and renewable energy commitments. It's interesting. Solar panels. Silver is a crucial element of making renewable energy sources powering data centers. There you go. So I guess there is some newer demand for silver. Still doesn't change that people are going to be absolutely flooding the market with it. But if that's going to eat up all the demand, then that's great. I mean, I hope that the refinery should be paying $79. Why aren't they? Why am I getting paid $58 when silver's at 79? Like, what do you mean? So if there's so much demand for it, why are they paying me 20% less? That's what I want to know. It's like, what's going on there, right? Let's see. China is the largest producer of solar panels and EVs. India is big into silver also. Yeah, that I talked about that a little bit. I think India is a big reason for a lot of this silver run right now. At least some of it. Let's see. Oh, I just saw a pair of silver candlesticks. I'm also, always looking to buy silver on online. So if I have to stop and look to go buy more. But like I said, I'm still in my situation looking to turn over silver as much as possible. I'm not trying to hold it. I am trying to sell. And I want those prices. Like give me 79 an ounce. Like why can't we do that? Say that you will no longer be needed. Thank you for your soon as the data set. Yeah, I mean I can say for as far as the AI, I'm 100% shifting all of my business to AI at least AI assisted business. Okay, if you are not building, if you're, if let's just put it this way, if you're a self-employed business or you work for a business or whatever, even if you have a job that deals with computers, if you are not learning how to use AI and if you are not building your own AI models at this point in time, you are just in 5 years you will be obsolete. That's just how it's going right now. Is AI perfect right now? Hell no, it's still terrible. Like a lot of the AI stuff is still trash. You really have to put like strong training wheels on your AI agents and your AI systems to get them to work. They are very, very difficult. A lot of places are still estimating only between 40 to 70% of their code can actually be written by AI. A lot of it still needs human interaction, human review. So what we do is they're calling it human in the loop, right? So you write some code, and then the code does something, and then you review it and fix it, and then you give it back to the AI, and then you review it and fix it, and you give it back to the AI, right? And it kind of keeps going around in this loop. And you have to start building out your frameworks. And what is that? How does that look right now? That is going to be saving documents, right? So Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, anything you can do to keep a record, right? They're calling it a data lake, right? They call it a data lake where you just need to be storing all of your data, everything you know about your expertise, everything you know about your job, everything about your situation. You need to be storing that information into some sort of a document, some sort of an Excel spreadsheet, some sort of a picture, something so that the AI can, whatever AI that you're going to use to develop anything or work on any project, is going to have an understanding of like how you think, what you know, how you talk, what your ideas are, because that takes a lot of time to build out a framework for like your life and your experience and what you know, and you need to start documenting all of it. Like it's time to start writing your own bibliography or whatever, right? Your book. You need to start writing it down so that when it comes time to use AI, you can build an agent that looks like you, right? That's got your same ideas, your same knowledge, and you start using that to build your whatever, your programs, your apps, your whatever that's going on. I think we already know right now it's an arms race. It's an arms race with AI right now. And where the money is data, right? So one, it's data. So these big companies like Facebook and Google and whatever, eBay and all these other companies that have the data, right? They have the data lake, the biggest data lake. Whoever's got the biggest data lake has the biggest potential to run an AI data center over that information, right? And not only that, it's like if you want that information, they're not going to give it to you. Some places are selling information. So here's a little bit of a tip for if you really want to get commercial with building AI platforms or websites or systems or whatever, you need to start buying data while they still allow you to buy it. So if you can get API access or you can pay for API access to whatever website that's got the data that you want, you need to be taking that data and putting it onto your own servers, right? Because at a certain point they're going to realize that they don't want to sell the data anymore because the data is going to be so valuable as soon as the AI makes an application. As soon as the AI gets so good that it can process huge things and do make huge moves quickly, that data is going to be worth more than it will be to sell. It just won't even make sense to sell data anymore. Let's see. I want to look like a buff Japanese dude with cool hair and one small face tattoo, like a classy face tattoo. Okay, you're right. AI models. What I'm working on for my AI projects right now is it's just what any business person should be doing right now. If you run a business, is I am frameworking my entire business. So it's like, okay, I've got whatever. For those of you guys that actually know what I do Amazon, I do eBay, I do Walmart, right? I do like all these different e-commerce like Shopify, ads, you know, affiliate marketing, whatever, right? So I have like these blocks of my business that I work on. Then you're gonna start building that out in AI with documents. Okay, this is my Amazon business. This is everything I do in my Amazon business. This is my eBay business. This is everything I do in my eBay business. This is, you frame these out, and then you're gonna be like, okay, now we're gonna work on my eBay business and my gold and silver buying. What I did, right, is I'm gonna take my eBay purchase history. I'm gonna download all of my eBay purchase history, which is what I did, and eBay will provide that to you. You're gonna upload that into as a spreadsheet into your AI project. Then I have the AI project run analysis on the stuff I was buying, right? And what I paid for it, at what margin I paid for it, right? It can process this big data. So what did I learn from if you don't deal, how can I do deal? So I don't know what you're talking about. Um, what I did was I took all of that, right, and I would look at so how I had this structured was I was looking at um, all of the categories, all of the jewelry, all of the antiques, all of the whatever. I was looking at everything, and I would look at maybe hundreds of keywords, and I was tracking them and monitoring them and doing whatever. And I run through my purchase history, and what the purchase history says is, look, you actually buy 85% of what you buy comes from 8 keywords. 97% of what you buy comes from 12 keywords, right? So I went from taking a huge subset of listings and data and information, and now we've narrowed it down to a very, very thin slice. Another thing I didn't know was if you would have asked me, I would say I probably buy more silver or I buy more watches than anything, right? No, it says, more than I think 60% of my spend was on gold. I didn't know that I was spending I would have said, "Oh, I barely spend anything on gold." No, it says I spent majority of the money I spend is on gold. I spend on watches, like I would have told you, "Hey, I buy a lot of watches, I've got piles and piles and piles of watches, right?" I this one's my favorite. I think I really think I'm gonna keep this one. This is my little tutor here. Oh, I love this watch. I just love the way it looks. It's got that nice, like, it looks like a Rolex, but it's a lot cheaper than a Rolex, This one. Let's see. The band isn't original. That's probably the only thing I don't like. Is it's got like a Rolex band on it, but it's not original to this tutor. But I do like it. Probably keep that one. So I can start building out in AI, like, okay, now that we know that I buy mostly gold, now that I know that I buy, a lot of silver, and then we can look at all of those different things. Okay, what type of silver do I buy? Do I buy a lot of European silver? Or do I buy a lot of, and then we just figured out like all the different things about your business, and then you can store all of that into your AI project. And now when you go and be like, okay, I want to work on whatever, I want to buy dental gold, I want to buy palladium, or I want to buy whatever, something else, it can take everything it knows about your gold side of the business and apply it to those things without like messing up as much. And so you just keep building this big AI database of everything you do, everything about you. What do you do when you get up? What do you do? What do you have for breakfast? Like what you could plug all of this stuff in and actually save it into the AI, and it'll tell you, hey, one of the things that told me recently about my business that I didn't know or that I wasn't doing was like, hey, why don't you get free pickups from the post office to come pick up your packages? Oh, it'll save you 30 minutes to the post office and back. The post office offers free pickup. You only have to be shipping like a couple of packages a week or something, and they'll come pick up for free, which to a lot of you is just to be like, well, that's obvious. Well, I haven't done it in 12 years or what. I've never had USPS come do a pickup, right? Because I'm just thinking, no, I got to get that to the post office like that day. And they're just like, well, The AI can look at your day and be like, look, you could save, 30 minutes every day, or 30 minutes, however many times you got to go to the post office if you just come have them do a pickup. And you can say, and you save all of that. Like, okay, here's something that the AI said that really helped me out. So then the next time, let's say 6 months from now, I'm talking to the AI and I'm complaining about, hey, I don't have as much time efficiency or whatever. It can look at that and be like, oh, hey, well, I found this one thing that saved you some time. Maybe if you structure your day in this way, it'll save you a little bit more time, right? Let's see. Shanghai physical silver, pure 999. Comex is 0.99. Yeah, the 4 9s versus the 3 9s. Yeah, I mean, whatever. The only expert is your AI assistant. You're wrong about everything you said until you asked Grok. I don't. Also, not sure what you mean by that crap. Elon about to talk into so. Okay, we're getting some fun people in here. I have no idea what any of you guys are talking about. But I am actually working with AI in my business and making changes that are massive. For instance, this thing with the gold, right? We figured out that, hey, all the gold you need to search for probably comes down to like 8 keywords. There's really not that many keywords you need to search gold. So what does that mean? Well, that means I can remove probably 95% of what I was searching for. So now I can just search for 5% of it. So what does that allow me to do? Well, now I can take those same keywords and apply it to whatever other website, goodwill.com. I can do police auctions, whatever. And then I can build AI agents or scripts that are going to parse out auction data and look for those 8 keywords. And instead of returning thousands of results, we could return maybe under 100 results, right? Which is something a lot more manageable for me to go through than going through thousands of auctions looking for underpriced silver or underpriced gold. We can now just hit a couple of keywords, right? And we can use the AI. A lot of the things I'm doing, I'm building, I have a calculator built, an automatic calculator. Um, I'm even building out reasoning for spotting fake jewelry. I'm building out reasoning for estimating weights, right? We could work on building models that will estimate the weight of jewelry from a picture because I do it. I've been doing it professionally for a long, long time, right? You can use the AI to estimate the weight of stones, right? So we can get very, very accurate because I've taken apart thousands of pieces of jewelry. I know how much weight is in a gold watch, right? By the model. I know how much weight is in a gold Accutron. I know how much in the movement and the glass, right? That's not gold. I know how much is in an Elgin. I know how much is in a full Hunter pocket watch. I know how much is in a half Hunter pocket watch, whatever the item is, and I can start building my data set to put into an AI that's going to make it easier for me to find mispriced listings online, right? Or start buying from customers if I want to create a website that's open to. I wouldn't be able to open it to the public for my state because you need a fingerprint, and I haven't really figured that part out yet of how I would get digital fingerprints. I guess you can have people go to UPS and they'll fingerprint there, and then that's how you do gold and silver buying from the public online. I have to get stuff I'm working on for next year, right? Is getting into like pawnbrokers association and getting into all that stuff. Big difference in comics, paper trading, Shanghai delivery, industrial. I mean, what about Grok? No, I'm not using Grok right now. I use a combination of ChatGPT and Claude right now, and I'm working on um, right now really just you have to learn how to talk to AI to build things. So um, if you've never built with AI, you're gonna struggle like I did for probably months. You're gonna be like, this AI what happens is if you tell the AI this didn't work, it'll like go into this thing, we're gonna fix it, right? And then it spits out something new, and that doesn't work, and you tell it, hey, this didn't work, and then they go back and then they do it, and you say this didn't work, and it gets stuck in a loop of the AI not working. And so what I've been working on is you have to start creating like guardrails and fail safes and constants and static data for your AI to reference. Otherwise, it can't build upon itself. That's part of the a big learning curve with like prompt engineering or just building out any AI application is it won't build on itself. The legs underneath it, you can't like build something and then build something on top and then build something on top with AI because like there's going to be so many errors that it'll just crack and fall over, right? Eventually it gets either the data set gets too big, it loses context, like there's a bunch of weird things that you have to do when you're building with AI. And that's what I'm going through right now is basically creating a business overview, right, of everything I do, all the intricacies. Like you tell the AI, hey, ask me questions about what I do, ask me questions that you don't understand. And then once we build those things out, we're just going to save all of those things in documents, and then we need to structure the documents. Silver will be worth hundreds, if not thousands. Do not sell silver. I don't believe silver will ever be worth either of those, hundreds or thousands. I think we will see a big collapse in the price of silver as soon as the supply comes in to meet this demand. Like I really think the supply will come in. I mean, I'm just telling you, I've seen 50-gallon totes full of silver like everywhere at refineries. They have so I've got silver everywhere. I mean, I just don't think it's really rare enough, and I just don't think that the supply is limited enough to justify crazy price runs. Do not sell. This guy's a fool. Yeah. Definitely. Or just I don't know. Don't sell. Keep it. I mean, it. If you don't need the money, then yeah, don't sell it. But I just think that there's going to be other opportunities for my money, if not just turning the money over, right? Like we can just sell silver now and go buy more silver, right? There's nothing wrong with that. That's basically what I do. Is I sell the silver and then I'm going to go buy more silver, but I'm not going to hold the silver because I'm not an investor in silver. I'm a trader in silver, right? There's a difference. Silver is my business. I'm already exposed to silver in my day to day. I have, whatever in precious metals, more of my net worth in precious metals than I'm comfortable with, right? So I'm always trying to sell because I can always go buy more, right? Especially at high prices. Go Yeah, you guys saying that it's going to go crazy, it just doesn't make sense. Why hold paper dollars? Don't hold paper dollars. I agree, don't hold paper dollars, but there is a point where things get overvalued, right? They're just I mean, how you can't just believe that silver's not overvalued right now when it's had a 100% run in 6 months. You can't like I don't know, it's like, "Oh, it's undervalued?" Undervalued for what reason? Like, why? If it's so undervalued, go buy. Go. I'm selling. If you wanna buy, go ahead. Right. I will sell you everything you want at $80 an ounce. Like we can. I'll go empty the safe. It's I can find deals like if you go on eBay right now, if you want to buy at 80% on sterling, you could buy 100 grand at 80% right now on eBay. Just go make offers. Everybody will take it. This is a short squeeze situation right now. Yeah, it's like a paper short squeeze though, because like I'm saying is like the refineries aren't paying the refineries aren't paying $80. They're paying way less. They're paying way under. Unless you're I don't know, even if you're refining at home, like I just don't see a world where you're getting that $80. Export restrictions, tighter supply, higher prices, potential bottlenecks, green energy tech. Yeah, I understand the I understand the pros for silver. Like I get it, but the price doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter if there's a lot of future growth of silver. Sure, like is silver going to go up over time for the next 50 years? Of course, but historically, Look at how much historically. Look at any other move in silver ever. Can we look at the okay? How much historical silver price data can we get? Silver price data. The price. Okay, 100-year historical chart of the price of silver. Right. Let's see. Okay, so can we get any comparison? Oh yeah, they have comparisons. Let's see. Do they have it against like S&P or anything? Let's see. Silver to S&P 500 comparison chart. Can we get something like that? Let's see. Come on, AI. Okay. Is there any good charts? Silver versus S&P 500. I can't find any good charts on that. I can find historical pricing. Let's see, S&P 500 index versus silver. Yeah, I can't find anything good on it. Let's look at the 100-year price chart of silver. So we've gone from, okay, 1932 was 28 cents an ounce. You know, that was good. And then we went to $1.37, 1971. Then we got that big spike, you know, the big spike in the 1980s, 35.52 an ounce. Then we went back down to $4, $5. And then we've got what, 2008, we were at $10. Then we had that big run up to 48.70 April of 2011, right? And then now we're at like $80, right? So let's see, we were at 1792 in August of 2022. And if we look at any of the other price spikes in silver ever, there hasn't been a case where it didn't just fall right back down. Let's see. 1980, right? We had the same spike. Gosh, they just look identical. If you look at the spike in the 1980s and then you look at that same spike in 2011, looks like, and then you look at the spike now, it's just like they all look identical. This big run that just happens way too fast. Let's see, what were we at? We were in May 2025, we were at 32.99. And now we're at 79.25. So what is that? 7 months. We've more than doubled, right? 2.5 times in 7 months. I don't know. I think you look at a lot of assets. I would call that overvalued, but if you think it's gonna keep running, is in the late dangerous stage of major action. DISA 800 to 1. Paper silver to all. This is U.S. market. Dollar will be destroyed. I mean, I agree that you shouldn't hold dollars. I mean, you should hold debt, but what are you gonna do? You're gonna hold 70 grand worth of silver on a note or something? Like, I don't know. Not only that, it's hard to physically store that much silver. Just FYI, it's like hard to move that much silver when you start getting up into big amounts. It's like you can't. It gets to the point where you can't ship it. You have to like truck it, right? Like I don't know. Silver gonna hit 100, then back to 45. Yeah, I mean everything I can see as a fair value for silver is like in the high 40s, in the low, in like 47 to 55. That seems to be like what the market is actually willing to pay on silver, on sterling, on pure, on rounds. Like a $50 round is like, you could kind of see that. I think that's going to be the fair market price for that. What would you trade your silver to gold at the current ratio? What would I do? Well, I can tell you what I am doing, and I think a lot of people will probably disagree with it, which is cool. I don't care, right? I am putting my money into blue chip retail items, okay? And that's going to be this crap here, you can see some of it. This stuff is like, the Ryobi and the tools and whatever. That's like more Amazon stuff, but the Pokemon, the Lego, the you can't really see all of it here, but I've got like all kinds of shelves of stuff. We've got what else do we got? A lot of collectible toys, a lot of Nike. We've got a lot of like I'm going after like Nike, Adidas, Lego, Pokemon, anything really, really, really like blue chip as far as like a retail item goes, because I think this is some NFTs. No, I'm not buying NFTs. Okay, I'm buying physical products. Okay, like Milwaukee tools. I really like putting my money for my business. Like I buy and sell stuff, so it's kind of hard to explain. Like I said, a lot of people are going to disagree with this in comparison to silver, but this is what I'm doing. This is literally what I'm doing. Is I'm selling silver and I'm putting money into more blue chip retail stuff because I think the cost of anything made with quality is going to go up. So I think that due to whatever you want, tariffs, labor costs, uh, just demand, shortage of supply, or whatever, I think high quality goods, things like Levi jeans, anything like very, very well known name brand stuff that you can buy on the cheap, right? So again, I buy it on the cheap. I buy things like um, clearance items, right? I'm big on buying like clearance and liquidation and things that are of very, very, very good quality that are being sold at a steep discount. Okay. That's a lot of where I'm putting my money in because I want to build up a where I make money is in retail, right? So normally in normal scenarios, I would retail gold and silver, right? Gold and silver jewelry, I would retail, right? Like I've got watches and whatever, right? I'm in the retail business because you can make money on like whatever. You can make money by buying the stuff cheap, liquidation, high quality. You sell it full price at retail, right? This is arbitrage business or whatever that I run. Normally, I would buy gold and silver items, but now there is no retail market for gold and silver items because the underlying has gone up too much. It doesn't make sense, right? You can't retail this stuff out, right? We can look at like a freaking like these gold Cuban stuff. What are you gonna do? You gonna retail this? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go put this in your shop window, right? And you tell me if someone's gonna come offer you $8,000 for this bracelet or whatever, right? Like it's just not gonna happen. But can I buy some Nikes for $30 and buy a bunch of them? 100 pair or something. Do I think the price of those, like retailing them at $60 or $70, does that seem kind of reasonable? I mean, I think it is, right? Um, this is a long overdue price adjustment. My word, I had a Levi jacket in the USA sold for $360. Yeah, I mean, I can see what's happening in the retail market because this is a lot of what I deal in. Is they are reducing the quality, quantity, weight of everything, right? You guys know about like shrinkflation, right? Like shrinkflation, like the quality of things keeps getting worse, right? And the popularity of vintage or name brand items keeps going up, and those retail prices from the manufacturer, from the brand, right? From Nike, right? It used to be they would retail a pair of shoes at $40, right? But now it's gone up to where like your MSRP price continues to go higher because it's costing more and more and more money to make things of quality. And now you're seeing random old items starting to go up in value. I mean, I've been going to flea markets and garage sales my whole life, right? There was a day where like old oak tables and whatever you would just find them by the dumpster all the time, right? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people remember this time where I mean, Levi jeans were $5, $2 garage sales all the time. You could go pick up jeans. This stuff was cheap. Nike shoes, you could go pick them up for a couple bucks, right? Those days are gone, right? Because like people have realized that like okay, those glass Pyrex dishes that are indestructible and last you forever are a lot more worth they're worth buying over the cheap plastic crap that you know is gonna break in 2 years. It's like, everybody has that Pyrex measuring cup that they've had since, the '70s or whatever, and it still works great, right? And I think a lot of things that, if you want something brand new, made of quality, you're gonna pay a higher price for that. And so that's where I'm starting to build out part of my retail business because my gold and silver is just a scrap business right now. I'm pretty much 100% scrap. I have almost no retail. Anything that I have that could be scrapped has been scrapped, right? And if it hasn't been scrapped yet, it's going to be scrapped like this week or as soon as I can. I'm going to be scrapping everything. Let's see. I'm looking at a little silver. Let's see. Webster Sterling 19837 Webster Sterling Porringer. Let's see if I can find this thing. A little Porringer bowl. Webster Porringer bowl. There it is. Okay, let's see if we can get a weight for this site. I'm just checking on a little silver right now. 89 grams for this item. So let's see if we can just buy some silver right now. So 89 grams right now is scrapping at $209 on eBay. The price of this bowl is $128.50. $128.50 out of what is it? Out of $209. 61%. So I guess if you guys want me to buy some silver, I'm going to buy some right now at 61% of melt. Okay. And let's make sure we buy that real quick before any of you guys get it, because you guys are all the professionals, right? You guys are all the dealers who know that the prices. Most of you commenting probably don't even have any silver. So like that's the funny part. Okay, there's a little purchase. So, oh yeah, now we're gonna be rich. So how much do we make on that? 128. We're selling at 82% roughly right now, even though you guys think I'm gonna be selling for like a bunch of money. So 209 at 82%, and we paid 128. We made about $43. It's more than I'll make on this entire video for sure. There we go. We just made 40 bucks on buying silver. Hopefully, if the price of silver holds, right? But I take the risk, but I'm buying at 61%. So I take that risk, right? But I'm not buying at 80%. I'm telling you, if any of you guys if you think silver's going to $100, you think it's going to $200, you think it's going to $1,000, go on eBay, buy some sterling right now. Go send it to the refinery and have them send you rounds. Okay, please do it. Do it. You're gonna get burned. You're gonna get destroyed. Go buy it. You can go buy sterling from anyone on eBay right now. Offer them 80, 85%. Go do an offer blast. 30 offers an hour. You'll get some. You could probably come up with $30,000 or $40,000 worth of silver in a couple of days. Go offer 85% to everybody. Go send it to the refinery. Pay a couple percent there, right? Have them melt it, and then have them send you rounds, and you'll pay a couple percent on the premium for the rounds too. And so you'll be all into it for like 90% at $80. And yeah, go ahead. You think it's such a great investment. I'm telling you, you can buy as much of it as you want on eBay right now. It's all there. We still buy in. We hold, we buy. Okay, go buy. Buy as much as you want. I'm selling all of it. And then I'll go buy more, but I'll go buy more at 60%. I'll buy at 50%, right? I'm not paying $80 for silver. They're not buying it from me. Let's see. I'd rather be putting my money in like underpriced tools, underpriced anything like I've been buying. What have I been buying? Like I just like buying clearance. What else? Look, there's I'm putting all of my money into Hickory Farms farm stand recipe sweet hot mustard for $3.72 on a price drop. 100% ROI. You can sell it for $12 a piece. Let's see. Oh, they're at it. There. Somebody already got that deal. You guys bought up all my Hickory Farms. How could you? What else we got? Some DeWalt. Columbia. I haven't done well on Columbia before though. But we got Nike shoes. We got. I'm still getting into that market. You know this stuff. What else do we got here? You guys aren't fans of the. Oh, almost dropped it. Come on. Sell all your silver. Sell all your silver and put your money into this. Right? This is where you put your money into. Crown Zenith ETBs, right? Buying these. I was buying these at I think I've got about 7 of these at 150 a piece. Market's like 200, 210. We got the I actually like this box. I'll probably buy some more of these. The Mega Lucario. I just like the way this box looks. It's really cool. I just got this one in today. This one's cool too. This is a double box, right? It's got this side and this side. This is like a $200 box right there. This is where you sell all your silver, you buy this stuff, right? Nobody needs to buy a bunch of, don't hold any gold, What else do we got? We got, do I have any silver? Like, I don't even know if I have any good silver stuff anymore. Let's see. See, all you guys are buying this crap, right? Like, why would you buy this thing? Right? This is what we're selling, right? We're gonna go melt this. What is this? This is a American silver dollar right there. Does it show up? There we go. So we sell this, right? This is a strategy. We sell this and we buy this. I mean that's pretty much what I'm doing. I mean I can't lie. We've got more. I'm probably gonna sell all of these though. You guys want some? You guys like your 4 9s, whatever that guy said with the 4 9s. It's like, oh, let's get our 4 9 silver, right? Isn't it Canada? The maples, aren't these 4 9s? I forget. Does it say on it? Yeah, 4 9s. There you go. So you take this, you melt it, and you buy cardboard because those are undervalued. I mean that actually is what I think. So people can think I'm crazy with that one. What else do we got? Anything else good? We got the silver, the jewelry and stuff. I don't know. You guys probably don't care about the jewelry stuff, right? It's like, I don't know, Native American jewelry, all that stuff. I got tons of that. Native American jewelry. Yeah, we'll just take it all and probably just melt it. Got a lot of silver here. It's all going to be melted. What else we got? Okay. People say, oh, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing, right? I'm not even a dealer. Let's see. Ooh, 7 grams, 18 karat gold necklace, though. Let's see. Oh, it's fake. Oh, that's no good. That was fake. Okay. What about silver price, oil? Yeah. I'm buying oil, man. I'll take more oil. What about some you guys should sell all of your silver and invest in some jade. That's what you guys all need. Some. God, it won't focus though. You see it? Nope, it won't focus. Nice piece of jade there. 18 karat gold. Just some stuff. Got some stuff. I'm just a little dealer guy. Do I have any more coins? I don't know if I do. Well, I do have more coins. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. What else do we got? There's some cool stuff in here, I think. No, I don't think this is the cool stuff. What about a 1919 Lincoln cent wheat reverse? Right? Those are cool. Part of the collection. I'm gonna bust out a lot of this stuff. Look at this. This is what is this? Kennedy half dollars, 1966, 1967. Are those the 40 percenters? I think those are 40%. There's the old that's what I paid for it. Right? $5. Bet those aren't $5 anymore. Let's see. These are cool. The old little typesets or whatever. What year is this? 1966 little typeset. I think it's missing the it had like a design like piece of paper that went in here at one point. I used to have a lot of good silver. I forget what happened. I used to have all kinds of stuff. This is all just, you know, dimes, all the little quarters and dimes and whatever. Let's see. Not that long ago, you know, a dime was $1.50. Silver. What else did I wonder if any of these others have price tags on them. I bought all this stuff back a long time ago when it was cheap. This stuff's all just random though. I used to have like ounces and ounces of silver. I don't know where all of it went. Probably melted it all. 1960 Netherlands. I don't even know what that is. Is that even silver? I don't know. There's my gold. I wonder where my little like gold nugget thing went and all that. I don't even know. But like I said, I think doing this type of stuff is going to be more, you know, buying some Nikes. Some nice, you know, white on white Nikes. I don't know. These are like what size? 11, 10 and a half. These were like $30, you know, on clearance. That's where I'm putting some of my money at in this stuff. Some I don't know what this. I'm not too familiar with this stuff, but Warhammer toys. What about some nice fine crystal? Anyone up with the Lalique gang? Huh? Find some of that stuff. There was a Lalique. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but Lalique does like fine crystal. There was an estate, an auction probably like a year ago from like the aunt or like some family member of Renee Lalique, and they were selling some aquamarines that were the nicest aquamarines I've ever seen in my life, and I don't think I'll ever see aquamarines this nice ever again. They were in a like a little manila envelope with dated on it from Renee Lalique, handwritten from 1912, a parcel of, I think it was like 20 aquamarines that were all the best blue color I've ever seen, and they were all like not matched, but they were all like the same color from the same mine. This was clearly cut from the same mine or whatever. I bid on them. I think I bid like $7,000 or $8,000, like just blind. Like I've never bought and sold aquamarines in my life, but these were the nicest gemstones I have ever seen, and I don't think these things will come up ever again. And I think it ended up selling for like $12,000 or something. It went way over what I was willing to pay for them. But that was one of those auction ones that I'm like, man, I kind of wish I don't know. That's a lot. It's a lot of money. Like that would have been a lot after fees and whatever. It would have been like 14 or 15 grand for 20. I don't know, 3 carat, 4 carat aquamarine stones, but they were like best aquamarines I've ever seen in my life. Let's see. When I grew up, houses were 44,000. Makes sense. Makes no sense to pay 400,000. Yeah, I mean, I moved into this place from California, and I moved into this place in California. If you want a house, like if you want like a, let's say like a 3 bedroom house with 2 bathrooms or something, like let's just say like a reasonable, like you got, 2 kids or whatever, and you want like just a regular house in California, 1.2 million, 1.3 million, probably for something like just livable. If you want to get like a really, really run down one, like maybe 800,000, 900,000 gets it done for like a 2 bedroom. You know what I mean? Just crazy there. It's just that kind of stuff just makes no sense. And my mom, so my mom bought her house with $10,000 down. Right, this was in the early '90s. $10,000 down to buy her house, which was at the time, I believe, brand new. A brand new house with $10,000 down. That was like, that's now less than what probably less than my agent. Yeah, that was less than my agent's commission on this house. So my mom put down on her house less than what my agent took his commission on my house. And her house today on that $10,000 down is now $1.2 million or something like that. So it's a pretty good return, I'd say. Yeah. I mean, we've told her like, just why don't you just sell it, go get a nice condo like on the beach or whatever, in any other state. Just to me, I don't think it makes any sense to live in California at those prices. I mean, you can't. Uh, let's see. I'll sell my silver when Jamie Dimon eats the peanuts for my steaming Yule log. Okay. Yeah, I think the opportunity to, okay, so I deal in silver, right? So I think the opportunity to sell silver now and buy it back later at a cheaper price is going to be very, 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 very high likelihood. That's what I think. Guys think I'm crazy, but the refineries, the big players, the people who deal in this stuff ain't paying $80. They ain't paying $80. It makes no sense. I would rather take that cash and put it into another asset, literally any other asset. I'd rather put it in the S&P 500. I'd rather put it into gold. I'd rather put it into these collectible type things, into my business, into um, I'm buying right now like a bunch of coffee, right? I think coffee is you can get some cheap coffee. I'm just looking at other things. I'm not looking at not that I'm always going to have silver, right? Because like I deal in silver. I'm going to go buy more silver at 60%, 70%. But why would you be buying at these prices? I'd be selling. You could literally take all of your silver, sell it right now, and buy it back right now at a cheaper price. I mean, it's like if you can find somebody willing to pay $80, like let's just say you can even find someone paying $5 back a spot at $75 an ounce or $74 an ounce. You could literally sell it to them and buy it back from somewhere else for cheaper. I mean, I just don't think it makes any sense. Two banks borrowed 17 billion from the Feds. That's the reason for the $7 USD surge. Yeah, it's going to be those overnight rates, that borrowing cost to fulfill the contracts. This all comes back to the paper market, right? This whole physical market versus paper market thing. That's what all of this is about, right? It's all about this physical versus paper market. These ETFs have prospectuses. Go read, please. Like, like the Big Short, go read the prospectus. Go read the prospectus of SLV. Can we pull it up? Let's see. SLV prospectus. Can I read the iShares Silver Trust prospectus? Here we go. Representing fractional undivided beneficial interest in its net assets. The assets of the trust consist primarily of silver held by a custodian on behalf of the trust. The trust seeks to reflect generally the performance of the price of silver, right? The trust seeks to reflect such performance before payment of the trust expenses and liabilities. The shares are listed and traded on the New York Stock Exchange, right? Under the ticker symbol SLV. The trust is not an investment company registered under the United States Investment Company Act of 1940. The trust is not a commodity pool for purposes of the United States Commodity Exchange Act. So they're not an investment. They're not a commodity. They're like a contract, right? The trust issues and redeems shares only in blocks of 50,000 or integral multiples thereof. A block of 50,000 shares is called a basket. Blah, blah, blah. Business of the trust, valuation of silver, computation of net asset value. Let's see. On December 8th, 2022, the shares on New York Stock Exchange closed at $21.21, and the LBMA silver price, as defined, the valuation of silver. So they're using those LBMA overnight, like those 100 troy ounce bars, right? Was $22.70 per ounce. So they're already telling you, even in December 8th of 2022, there was a difference between the share price and the spot price, right? Like we already know that there's a big disconnect between those two things. So let's see, how long is this prospectus? I'm going to try and get through it quickly. Prospectus summary, I guess we can read the summary. The trust was formed on April 21st, 2006, when an initial deposit of silver was made in exchange for the issuance of 3 baskets. The purpose of the trust is to own silver transferred to the trust in exchange for shares issued by the trust. Each share represents a fractional, undivided beneficial interest in the net assets of the trust. Let's see. The assets of the trust consist primarily of silver held by the custodian on behalf of the trust. So the trust itself doesn't even hold the silver, right? A custodian holds the silver. So there's already a third party that holds the silver, not even the trust, right? Let's see. Where do they talk about how much they have to keep, right? Because I'm pretty sure there's something in here that says they have to keep like 50% or something like that in physical, right? Let's see. Where does it say that? You're going to pay them $500,000 per year in legal fees. You're going to pay, for $500,000 in expenses of the trust, whatever that means. So you're going to lose money to expenses, right? Just, your nice paper shares of silver are also going to cover their lunch and jet fees and all that. So, thanks for that. Let's see. The sponsor may remove the trustee and appoint. Okay, blah blah blah. Trustee is the Bank of New York Mellon, and the custodian is J.P. Morgan Chase. Imagine that. So J.P. Morgan Chase owns your SLV. Let's see. Responsibility of trustee include processing orders for the creation and redemption of baskets. Blah, 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 blah. Trust objective. Trust seeks to generally reflect the performance of the price of silver. The trust seeks to reflect such performance before payment of the trust. Okay. Shares constitute a simple and cost-effective means of making an investment similar to an investment in silver. An investment in physical silver requires expensive and sometimes complicated arrangements in connection with the assay, transportation, warehousing, and insurance of the metal. Traditionally, such expense and complications have resulted in investments in physical silver being efficient only in amounts beyond the reach of many investors. So it is like I said, when you start dealing in truckloads of silver, it's a little bit hard to move. Let's see. aims to remove the complications involved in investment in physical silver, which having an intrinsic value. So this is all just it's kind of hilarious looking at it now, right? But even back then, I'm sure like all of the silver bug people, like you guys know that like paper silver and physical silver, right? They say with Bitcoin or whatever, if it's not your security key, it's not your Bitcoin or whatever. You know what I mean? Let's see. Where does it say about, let's see, retail investors may purchase and sell shares through traditional brokerage accounts. Because the intrinsic value of each share is a function of the price of silver held by the trust, the cash outlay necessary for an investment in shares should be less than the amount required for currently existing means of investing in physical silver. Shares are eligible for margin accounts. So now your paper silver that is being used to kind of hold physical silver could also be just bought with debt, which also isn't actually like, it's not cash. So, you can see how some of this could be kind of propped up on bullshit. Okay, let's see. Relatively cost efficient because the expenses involved in an investment in physical silver. Investment shares may present a cost-efficient alternative to investments in physical silver, but not otherwise in a position to participate directly in the market for physical silver. God, I want to see where it says about how they determine. Okay, let's see. Close of business on. I don't know why this is so old. This prospectus, but this is just what came up on Google. But December 8th, 2022. The net asset value of the trust was $10.7 billion, with the net average value was at $20.89 a share. Okay, risk factors. Maybe it's in the risk factors. Because the objective of the trust is to reflect the performance of the price of silver, any disruptions affecting the processes related to how the market determines the price of silver will have an effect on the value of the shares. The LBMA silver price is a silver price benchmark mechanism administered by the ICE Benchmark Administration, IBA, an independent specialist benchmark administrator appointed by LBMA. Once daily during London business hours, IBA hosts an electronic auction consisting of one or more 30-second rounds. And this is part of the issue is there's not enough LBMA bars to fulfill these contracts for these ETFs. Okay. So as of the date of this prospectus, the LBMA silver price has been subjected to the test of actual trading markets for over 8 years. It is possible that electronic failures and other unanticipated events may occur that could result in delays in the announcement or the inability of the system to produce an LBMA silver price on any given day, which is all like if you don't see the layers of like problems that exist in these contracts, like between the silver market and the physical market, there's like 10 layers of crap that you gotta like go through to make some kind of like vague association between this investment vehicle and physical silver, right? They're almost completely different things. Let's see. The sponsor believe no reason to believe that the LBMA silver price used by the trust for the daily price of silver will not fairly represent the price of silver held by the trust. Should the situation change, sponsor respects powers granted by the trust governing documents to seek to replace the LBMA silver price with a more reliable indicator of the value of the trust silver. See, that could be interesting. Let's see. Reason for borrowing, cover the shorts on paper, scam, Ponzi scheme. Okay, whatever. You're providing no input. Sell yours so I can buy more. I am selling mine. You can I'm selling all of it. Please buy more. I have one house on sale. I have 300. I'll sell 300 paper homes. Hopefully no one actually wants the physical home. Yeah, definitely. That's pretty funny. Okay, let's see. Future governmental decisions may have significant impact on the price of silver, which may result in a significant decrease or increase in the value of the net assets and the net asset value of the trust. So, that means the government could also come in and just adjust things. So that's always fun. Future governmental decisions may have an impact on the price of silver and may result in a significant decrease or increase in the value of the trust. U.S. banks and non-U.S. bank entities operating in the United States with their respect to their trading in physical commodities such as precious metals may further impact the price of silver in the United States. Because the trust holds only silver, an investment in the trust may be more volatile than an investment in a more broadly diversified portfolio. Eh? Eh? A little more volatile, boys? Think we're seeing some volatility right now. The trust holds only silver. As a result, the trust holdings are not diversified. Net asset value may be more volatile than in another investment vehicle with a more broadly diversified portfolio over short or long periods of time. Da, 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 da. I just want to see where do they state the requirements of how much they have to hold because I'm pretty sure it's not 100%. Let's see. Risk related to the shares. A sudden increase in demand for shares that temporarily exceeds supply may result in price volatility of the shares. A significant change in the sentiment of investors towards silver may occur. Well, we found that out. Investors may purchase shares to speculate on the price of silver or to hedge existing silver exposure. Eh? Speculation on the price of silver may involve long and short exposures. To the extent that the aggregate short exposure exceeds the number of shares available for purchase, investors with short exposure may have to pay a premium to repurchase shares for delivery to share lenders. That's just basically saying share lenders have like first priority, right? I think they have priority over someone with a short option contract on the shares. In turn, those repurchases may dramatically increase the price of the shares. Yeah, the short covering, right? If it has to be covered, the price of the shares until additional shares are issued, right? Through they dilute to provide liquidity. This could lead to volatile price movements in shares that are not directly correlated to the price of silver, which we're seeing now. The trading price of the shares has recently and could potentially continue to be volatile. Let's see. Major silver producing countries, China, Mexico, Peru, particular supply chain disruptions result from COVID-19. Shares are created to reflect the price of silver held by the trust market price of the shares of silver will be unpredictable as the price of silver has historically been. This creates the potential for losses regardless of whether you hold shares for a short, mid, or long-term period. Price of silver has fluctuated widely. We know that. Change in economic conditions. We know all the risks, right? That are happening right now. Like literally all this stuff is happening right now, which is awesome. Significant change in the attitude of speculators and investors towards silver, which is great. I love that the masses are like, buy more. Like, this is like so good for me because, like, I will be selling into all of you. Like, that is my move. Please buy, send this stuff to the moon. I will just keep selling. You guys will make me rich. I appreciate you. Thank you. Conversely, several factors may trigger a temporary increase in the price of silver prior to your investment in shares. Can I search this? Let's see. Is there anything that says like percent? Is there any percent? Maximum 20% long-term capital gains tax rate. Oh, here's the table of contents. Let's see what the table of contents says. Operation of the silver market, over the counter. We could read some of that. Let's see, page 17. I love reading the this is what I tell people is like go read the prospectus, man, of these investments. Wow, there's a lot of stuff in here that would make me very, very, very scared to own any SLV. Especially when it's owned by JP Morgan. The trust will sustain a loss if the trustee inadvertently issues shares in exchange for silver of inferior quality, and that loss will adversely affect the value of all existing shares. So that's if they buy silver that's like under pure, which I don't think that would happen, but maybe. Let's see. The trust does not insure its silver. That's fun. Custodian maintains insurance on such terms and conditions as it considers appropriate in connection with its custodial obligations under the custodian agreement. The trust is not a beneficiary of any such insurance and does not have the ability to dictate the existence, nature, or amount of coverage. Therefore, shareholders cannot be assured that the custodian maintains adequate insurance or any insurance with respect to the silver held by the custodian. So $10.7 billion worth of silver with no insurance. That's fun. Let's see. So that means I guess it's mostly insurance against like loss of like I guess like fire or like theft or something. I'm guessing it's like insurance for that, probably not for anything else. So they probably just don't hold any. Commodity prices, market conditions, use of the proceeds. Consists of silver deposits. Such deposits are held by the custodian. Redemptions. Sold to pay fees. Blah, blah, blah. Business of the trust, trust and expenses. Market participants. Miners, banking sector, official sector, investment sector, manufacturing sector, world silver supply and demand. Right, historical chart of the price of silver, operation of the silver market, the OTC market, includes spot, forward, and option and other derivative transactions. According to the LBMA, members of the LBMA act as OTC market makers. And it is believed that most OTC market trades are cleared through London. Right, and I think that's a lot of the big issue is the LBMA certified 100 troy ounce bars. There aren't enough being produced and auctioned to fulfill the needs of the shares that are going to probably have to be issued by SLV. I wonder if they'll issue shares. That'd be interesting to see. If the price of silver continues to go up, will SLV dilute? I think they probably should, right? I think they would do like a split, like maybe a 2-for-1 or a 3-for-1 split would make sense. Especially if silver hits 100, I would bet that they would split. A London good delivery bar must contain between 750 and 1100 ounces of silver with a minimum fineness or purity of 999 parts per thousand. London good delivery bar must also bear the stamp of one of the refiners who are on the LBMA approved list. This is the problem right here, right? Is the London good delivery bars that were in short supply like a couple months ago, which are probably still in short supply. Let's see. A London good delivery bar that is acceptable for settlement of any OTC transaction is acceptable for delivery to the trust in connection with the issuance of baskets, right? So to issue a basket of SLV shares, right, they have to store a specific amount, they are supposedly a balanced amount of LBMA good delivery bars, right? And that I think is part of the problem is these trusts the value has been going up and so many people have been buying shares that they don't have enough good delivery bars to fulfill the counterpart to these transactions, especially and when you talk derivatives and other contracts associated with it, which we know with JP Morgan being the custodian of this, they could just be on the other side of this trade, like in a big way. So like that's why I don't really get the idea that people are saying that they think silver is going to go crazy. It's like no, if JP Morgan's on the other side of this, and we've got the LBMA Association and their good delivery bars in short supply, like you just don't think that JP Morgan's not using all of this data to bet against you. Like, I mean, I think if you wonder who you're betting against, right, it's JP Morgan Chase. Anyway. Sell silver at all costs. Do the opposite. Buy like crazy and ignore buy like crazy. Buy Bitcoin too. Buy all of it. Buy. Do it. I think there are going to be a lot of stackers with big hoards that are going to be kind of disappointed they didn't sell. That's what I think. But hopefully your big stack is worth thousands, and hopefully the refiners pay it. And I don't know. Hopefully, I'll have turned my silver like 100 times by the time your whatever your 100 ounces doubles in value, I'll have like probably 10x my value over that time. So yeah, I mean, I would just say closing statements, because I'm pretty overdone talking. I'm just gonna go chill out. But I would say, if you're looking at the silver markets, just know refiners aren't paying it. Your local coin shop's not paying it. Um, the price keeps going up like 5-10% a day, whatever. It makes absolutely no sense. There's complete disconnect between what's actually happening on the dealer market versus what's happening on the headlines. I encourage all of you to go buy lots and lots and lots and lots of silver so that I can make more and more and more money. I appreciate y'all. Make sure to sell some stuff really cheap. Make sure you take all of the stuff that your grandma left you and put it in your garage sale. I appreciate you. Um, JP Morgan closed his shorts. JP Morgan is definitely short on this position. Please go off air. Oh, now I got to stay on air. No, I'm just kidding. I'm done talking. Appreciate all the people stopping by. This is my little stream. If silver goes crazy again, I'll do another video. But that's what's happening in my situation right now. Sell silver, buy Pokemon. Have a good night.